You know.
Did Tony Jardine ever give you any tips?
He gave me plenty of tips along the way, but so, no, to be honest, it's as I say, the Super 2000 has just been a breath of fresh air to the world of rallying, I believe. The IRC Championship, again, the promoters and everything done a fantastic job. Yeah. And it's created a platform to allow importers like Peugeot UK, Peugeot Belgium, my teammates Freddie and Nico. It creates a platform that a team can come in at a realistic budget rather than the budgets at WRC level, which for me are way beyond the means of sponsorship, and the promotion there is not as good within Europe at the moment. Worldwide it's maybe better, but everything this year just gelled. The opportunity, the car, my maturity, and I can't forget Paul Nagel who sat with me. I've had numerous co-drivers over the years, and you know, when you start crashing, I feel sorry for when the co-driver starts to get questioned, you know, because ultimately I crashed the car. But Paul this year has been a fantastic help to me, and any time he feels me, it's strange because he couldn't park a car out there in that car park, to be honest. But when he's sitting beside me,
you've got something in common then.
We have. When he's sitting beside me, he knows whether I'm pushing at 99% or 99.9, and he'll tell me to G up a bit. Or if I'm driving at 101%, he'll tell me to come back a bit. And how he knows it, I don't know. But
it's called self-preservation.
I
That's what's guiding his.
I believe so. So no, he's been a fantastic help to me, and it's just been a combination of everything over the years. So.
Tony, you're in the promotions business. You're in the sponsorship business. Is Sports 2000 the way to go? Is World Rally Championship pricing itself at the marketplace?
Well, I think you and I spoke about it. The first time that Eurosport got behind this thing, started this Intercontinental Rally Challenge, we sat up and took note. Because first of all, with the economics, manufacturers can't afford the sort of prices in WRC. And WRC, unfortunately, is a little bit stagnant and needs really refreshing. So in come Eurosport, get behind this championship, and they've made rallying adventurous again. They've made it watchable again. You know, we turned on the television, watched the Eurosport. Friday night, this guy and the rest of the superstars going up Col de Turini live, pictures coming. They're going in and out the jungles in Brazil. They double-headed it with the World Touring Car Championship, etc., etc. And they've got something. And they've nicked the crown jewels. They've taken Rally Monte Carlo away from the World Rally Championship. And those guys are really pissed off. You know, ISC, WRC, they're really upset.
Good.
Good, because here we have Peugeot UK. They can afford to do it. And in times of recession, they're backing, you know, a British driver. They've got a champion now. They've done a fantastic job. And some of the stages were breathtaking. The job that he's done on tarmac has to be congratulated. I spoke to him after Ypres, and the detail work him and Nagel were doing on the recce, just how they could clip where all the apexes were, and so video. He spent weeks doing this. He's worked his absolute butt off to win this thing, and then finally to go and splatter everybody on San Remo is great. And I think, seriously, they've got something with IRC. I think there could be lessons learned. And of course, now you've got WRC holding off Super 2000, saying, oh, well, we're going to do a World Cup and all this stuff. They've got 2 manufacturers. We had 5 manufacturers this year in IRC, and we're building stars. And I seriously think, certainly, you know, after Colin and after Richard, you know, we've got a star here that really can reignite rallying on a world stage and get it back up where it should be in media terms. I'm sorry to go on a bit, but I feel very strongly about it.
I think we all do. Ken, how aware of the World Rally Championship or the IRC is the American market? Are you guys keeping up to speed in what the World Rally Championship is doing?
Ever since I was a little kid, I've looked up to rally and Formula One, but specifically rally. It was just the aspirational sport that, as far as motorsport went, that I loved. Absolutely tiny. So, I mean, it's growing. The recognition is growing. Unfortunately, with the economy, you know, we've lost some competitors, but the awareness, we've watched events, as far as spectators go, quadruple in attendance. So it's getting there, but it's still a long ways off. There's still a lot of people that like to watch cars go in circles and go straight, unfortunately.
Do your events attract any sizable crowds?
Decent size. I mean, anywhere from a couple thousand to 10 to 15,000, but it's still pretty small compared to the crowds that you will see here.
from my time over here with Colin and stuff, I got to drive in the McRae stages in '04.
Right.
I think we finished 5th overall in Graham Holmes's Mark II.
Yes,
It's a sequential gearbox and everything, but that was my first time in a proper historic spec car, and to be honest, that was more pleasurable, back to the way it used to be, and fighting first gear down here somewhere with the dog leg first. So it was very, very special last year. But I also had the opportunity this year at Rally Ireland. I had to do a promotion before the final stage in Donegal Town. I had to drive a Metro 6R4 around the super special stage in Donegal Town, and that really whet my appetite. So honestly, I can honestly hold my hand up and say the Metro 6R4 for me is the best car I've driven.
Just talking about historic rallying, you've come at it from a different perspective, Tony. I mean, when Jimmy talks about
Tony's historic. The cars are modern.
The cars are modern. That was my best slide.
Don't start me, greybeard.
Sorry, John.
So what are you driving tomorrow?
A Fiesta.
These Fiesta ST spec cars. What's it like?
It's a fantastic little car. I mean, that's the reason that they've had a World Series for them and a European Series, and it's bringing on a lot of the youngsters.
Is it a good learning curve for youngsters?
Absolutely. It's fantastic. And our car is Castrol car. It's run by Pro Speed and Ollie Marshall and the boys. And we take journalists with us. Journalists learn about rallying. We've got the editor of Motorsport magazine with us, Damien Smith, over there on his second ever rally. He puked on his first a year ago.
I wasn't going to say that.
I've never seen anyone so nervous when he couldn't talk. He couldn't string two words together.
But he's back for more.
He's back. It's absolutely great. We didn't think he would come back, but he has, and he put a great article in, and he's going to do. He's here doing articles not just on previewing Rally Scotland. Yeah. He's been interviewing Jim and so on, which is great for a roundy racing magazine to do a bit of rally as well. Yeah. Is good for all of us. But what I want to say, well, I did, for the first time, my favourite rally that I did was tarmac actually, but it was Donegal. I got the chance to do it last year in a WRC car, in an ex-sports car, which is the Octavia. And, you know, you're going down there and you can't understand what the guys are fucking saying all the time. They don't come for the crack. They come for the tarmac and the stuff like that that's going on. And Jesus Christ. A Mark II Escort.
Listen, we're struggling with your English accent, never mind your Irish accent.
But this is it, the co-driver that's provided. He's going, tree. I said, there's trees everywhere. No, he said, tree, tidy tree. It's to a distance. He said, I couldn't understand the bloody thing. This guy's in a little Clio out front, about 50 foot in the air, creaming, smacking everyone's backside, whatever. And what's that stage round the edge of the bloody...
Knockalla.
You've heard of Knockalla, whatever it was. It was unbelievable. And then there was the guys from Northern Ireland down there, all his lot as well. And we had one hell of a party, so we did. Party, drink, party, drink.
Chris, you can hit him.
And listen, if you don't arrive at the start line pissed, you don't start. That is a qualification of that event, let me tell you.
You never hear anybody mocking an English accent, do you?
No, you don't.
Come on, old boy,
we'll make
give
a
it
start
go.
tonight. Ken, do you understand this business of front-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive?
I really started in the four-wheel drive era, so...
I mean, you're just a boy. I mean,
last year was my first experience actually trying to race a four-wheel drive car. And it was frightening. I couldn't... If the thing started swapping down a straightaway, I had no idea what the hell to do with it. So it was fun, and I had a lot more respect for those guys that race those things at the level that they did. So it was... And I liked it so much, I ended up buying one.
Because that was the first time you'd ever driven a rear-wheel drive car last year. Was
yes.
the Mark II.
I mean, I'd driven other rear.
I remember you guys lifting the bonnet or the hood. Yeah, there's an Americanism for you. The hood, and looking at the engine, and the first remark was, "Gosh, it's tiny." Because you're not used to small engines like that. Have you ever driven a front-wheel drive car on the loose?
Yes.
And what's that like?
Boring.
A man after my own heart.